What's up, everybody? This is channel 727. This channel right here is your #1 news source for transvestigations and much more. Real quick, wanted to thank the audience for being here. You guys are the best. I really appreciate all the kind words from you guys and the encouragement. All of that really helps motivate this channel to proceed forward. Let's go ahead and keep going and check these people off our list one by one. So the introduction to my videos is usually like a Jesus defeating Satan type of theme. And I'm very aware that some of you guys believe that the Jesus you see in the old paintings is not actually Jesus, it's the Antichrist. But whether that is true or not, I just want you guys to know that I am certainly not trying to flash a false Jesus photo in the cover of my videos. Through historical documents, we can gather bits and pieces of descriptions of what Jesus may have looked like. Publius Lentulus, one of the first-hand eyewitnesses, said that Jesus was tall, golden hair, gray eyes, and rosy skin. Pontius Pilate, another first-hand eyewitness, said golden hair, a beard, and fair skin. And then Gamaliel, another first-hand eyewitness, said thin, golden hair, and soft blue eyes. So those three eyewitnesses, their descriptions are very similar from one another. Again, those eyewitnesses give us somewhat of an idea of what Jesus may have looked like. Oh, and the image on the left is provided by Israeli archaeologists. Yeah, this is their depiction of what Jesus looked like. What an absolute joke. They use zero historical sources. Somehow they come up with this. Israel is engulfed with the synagogue of Satan. They're the ones that run the show in Israel, and unfortunately they are also the ones that run the show in the USA. None of them are to be trusted, and Jesus clearly warns us about them. Before we get started on this episode, let's go ahead and take a look at the question of the day. Alright, do you guys remember the series to these books from back in the day? What were these bears called by? Does anyone recall? The blank bears. So yeah, the question of the day is, does anyone remember the name to these bears? Well, if you said the Berenstain Bears, then you are wrong. Because according to this reality, they were always called the Berenstain Bears. Yeah, so Berenstain never existed. I hope you guys don't just automatically think that you were misremembering this, because we should all know that they were called the Berenstain Bears. I had these books as a child. I remember it. But you see, with the Mandela effect, the name is going to change all the way back to its origin point. So that means it doesn't matter how old of a Berenstain book you have. You could have the first one ever made, and it's going to say Berenstain. And on this episode, we will be investigating John MacArthur. John MacArthur is an American pastor and author.
It really came down to being the only option because I haven't had such a speedy recovery as I hoped to have. I feel great. I just... Did
you guys see how steep those shoulders were in that video? Never mind the video, look at this photo. Sloping, rounded shoulders on John MacArthur. People don't see this, but that is very abnormal to be on a biological male. I've been transvestigating for quite some time now, so that sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Males' upper body should be straight, like the bottom of a coat hanger. Females' upper body should look like the top of a coat hanger, that V-shaped. Male skull template layout didn't fit on John MacArthur's face, but when we put the female skull template layout on, look how perfectly that matches. Oh my goodness. Did you see how perfectly and symmetrical everything just lined up on point, guys? John MacArthur displays a smaller triangle on their face, not a large one, close set of eyes, rounded jawline, and that small dental arch. Fortunately, this is going to be a very short video. Couldn't find any gate photos or videos of John MacArthur. That's okay. We're still going to debunk this gender. Take a look at John MacArthur's legs. They are standing straight up, but their legs have a slight bend to them. Their legs are not straight. The so-called wife, now, that's the one with the straight legs. Take a look at the so-called wife's feet. Holy crap, look how big those things are. I've been doing this for quite some time now. I know what I'm looking at here. Just by looking at their skulls alone, I can tell you which one is male and which one is female. John MacArthur has the upside down egg head. It's more of an oval. Thin jawline, close set of eyes, small nose, and a very small dental arch. See how the eyes match with the jawline? Let's take a look at the so-called wife. Far set of eyes, very defined square jawline. Look at the so-called wife's dental arch. It's much wider versus John MacArthur's. Get another skull check, and this time for the both of them, and voila. No doubt about it, John MacArthur has a female skull. The so-called wife has a male skull. Real quick, let's get a zoom up on both of their dental arches. Really want you guys to see this. Not over here just making things up. I'm really analyzing these photos. So again, John MacArthur has the female narrow dental arch. You see it? So-called wife has the male wide dental arch. Oh yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. Females have that very pointy, rounded chin. Males do not. Males have like a square shaped chin, box chin. The last thing I wanted to mention in this photo is the opening in between John MacArthur's legs. You can see that diamond shaped opening right there. Shape that forms in between males' legs is much different than this. Trust me. Biological males walk, their feet should land straight, pointing straight, while females' feet land sideways. They look cockeyed. Now, this isn't always 100% true, but the only thing I'm circling here is how you could tell John MacArthur's feet land sideways when they walk. And there's almost a little bit of a heel-to-toe action going on. Main thing I see in this photo is, again, John MacArthur's legs. Well, their knees bow outwards, just like a female. Males have straight legs. So, yeah. John MacArthur with the so-called son and the rest of the inverted family. We all remember the skulls, guys, because there is only 2 people in this photo that I can point out that have a biological male skull. We're going to go ahead and excuse the little baby in the so-called mother's arms, but I guarantee you that is a little boy. Everyone in this photo have an upside down egg-shaped head, an oval, except for the so-called mother and this one right here. Take some time and really analyze this photo, guys. Look at all these so-called males in this photo. All of their knees bow outwards. They shoot outwards. They bend. Their legs are not straight. They're bendy. That so-called girl is the only one that has the straight legs. I'm telling you. While we are on that same so-called girl, let's zoom up on their head. Can you guys see this? Look how wide this freaking head is. This is not a thin oval-shaped head. This is a male. This is a little boy. I'm telling you. The bottom of the chin, it's not pointy, rounded whatsoever. This is a perfect blockhead. Same with the so-called mother. This is not a female skull. This is a blockhead. Look at the so-called little daughter in their arms. That's a little boy. Can you guys see this? Please do not be deceived. This person by no means is giving birth to these so-called children of theirs. They are not giving birth. I can assure you that. Now look at John MacArthur and the so-called son. We're back to the oval heads. These are female skulls, once again. Neither one of them have this dominant square jawline. It's not there. Everything is rounded at the bottom. Right at top, narrow at the bottom. They're two females looking right at you. So the both of them have very sloping down shoulders that are rounded. See, the so-called wives, their shoulders weren't sloping like that. It was like straight across because they are a male. Get a skull check on the so-called husband, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This entire family is secretly inverted. Do not be deceived. These people follow Baphomet. Everything on the outside of them is a complete facade. These are not followers of Jesus Christ. They do not live Christ-like. Otherwise, they would be dressing appropriately to their assigned gender, and they wouldn't be taking these hormones and all these plastic surgeries done. It's disgusting. Very sad. Very sad. Just an FYI, John MacArthur's net worth range is from 10 to about 30 million. That is insane. It seems like during my investigations, pastors with this much money seem to be all inverted. See, Satan wants to control both sides of good and evil. So yeah, once again, the majority of these pastors are not genuine. They preach the prosperity gospel. Every day, they look for new opportunities on how they can make money off of you. These are all get-rich-quick schemes. Turn the church into a house of merchandise. Case here is closed, guys. John MacArthur is a biological female. No doubt about it. If you like this video, guys, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have no fear of any man. Jesus is always with us. Stop making the Father's house a house of merchandise, you Baphomet scum. Remember, guys, we must pray dearly for everyone, even people like this. Alright, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Love y'all.